what I think pretty much after the final whistle for Newcastle in their quarter-final tie against Leicester, and probably even in the build-up to that game, that people would just wanted to avoid Manchester City. And then last night, as things unfolded, Manchester City were no longer in the competition, and I think it surprised everybody. It probably surprised Southampton themselves at how bad Man City were. But, you know, huge odds Southampton had before the game. I think it was something like 10-1, and Man City just simply didn't turn up, and Southampton won the game comfortably in the end, and probably could have been more than the scoreline it was. But now for Newcastle, they've got to look at this game. And Southampton, really, it's already a different game to the one where Newcastle won very comfortably 4-1 down there at St Mary's before the World Cup break when Ralph Hasenhüttl was in charge. Nathan Jones has come in, and he's obviously got a reaction from Southampton. They've won the last 2 cup games, but they're still bottom of the league. And to be fair, I think going into the draw, if you could have picked a team, then you wouldn't have argued with getting Southampton, because Southampton are very much beatable. We don't know how the confidence is going to be in this big game. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, going in the draw, as I said, people just wanted to avoid Man City. Suddenly Man City weren't there, and you were probably thinking avoid Man United. But, you know, you'd probably have tipped Newcastle to beat any of the teams over 2 legs that are still in there. But Southampton, it's a great tie. The great thing about it is that the first leg is down there first. Newcastle will bring them back up here for the second leg. They'll know exactly what they have to do in that second leg in front of their own fans. And, you know, Wembley, you know, is very much on the horizon for Newcastle if they can get it right, if they can do what they've done in other games. Not just the games where they've won comfortably, the games where they've showed patience, a bit like Leicester, first hour, couldn't find a breakthrough, and then obviously go on to win the game in the end. So Newcastle now focus on Fulham, but just nice to know that 2-legged tie against Southampton is there, and very much an opportunity for Newcastle to finally get to a cup final at Wembley for the first time this century. And I think it's going to be the end of the month where the reality of the opportunity that Newcastle have got really kicks in, because after that Crystal Palace game, Newcastle can only concentrate on one thing, that's the League Cup. Even Southampton have got a home game in the FA Cup against Blackpool, sort of wedged in between the 2 Newcastle games. That can't be ideal, having to focus from one competition to the other. You know, Newcastle, you know, maybe they would have preferred to still be in the FA Cup, but that's not the case. And they've got this big opportunity to really focus and home in on Southampton and getting through to Wembley. And I just think that it's a real opportunity. And the way Newcastle played, then yeah, you'd certainly back them. But complacency is always the greatest enemy, and that's what Eddie Howe will be drumming into his players. But certainly the draw last night, yeah, just continued the feel-good factor around the place. Everyone talking about the cup, and it's just a great feeling. And Newcastle will never have a better opportunity to win the League Cup than this.